What's going on, Falcon fan? This your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. So today we're gonna talk about the New Orleans Saints and what it's gonna take for us to try to get a victory on Sunday against our hated rivalry, the New Orleans Saints. Before we get into the video, please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the like button. Please hit the notification bell. And please share my content throughout the YouTube universe. So, okay, let's get into the video. So, we all seen what happened with our Carolina Panthers last Sunday. The poor performance that we had. How I feel like we got punked from our line of scrimmage standpoint, from on offense and defense. But we still had a chance to win the game. So, if there's a silver lining, you can look at it that way and see that we still had a chance to win, even though I felt like we got dominated on our line of scrimmage from an offensive standpoint and a defensive standpoint. One thing I can say before I get into the video, I can say that I know for a fact that, you know, when you're tested like that and you want to go out and prove that you can improve in the instances. I know this team is a proud team, so I feel like they're going to actually step up this week. I don't think the line of scrimmage is going to be an issue as much as we think, but it is something that we have to look out for because, like I said, I feel like these guys got dominated a little bit from the line of scrimmage. So you guys know how I do. I go offense, I go defense, I go special teams. Before I get into that, I do want to congratulate the Atlanta Braves on their world championship. Atlanta needed a championship. Of course, we know we had the soccer team win a couple of years ago as well. But for one of our major teams in Atlanta, congratulations to the Braves. It was like a Cinderella season for those guys. They dominated the playoffs. And it just goes to show when you hit your ground running, you could do something special, and I think those guys did. They look like the best team in the playoffs this year, and that's why they're the champions today. So again, congratulations to the Braves. And I hope, like you said, I hope that some of that magic can rub off on our Atlanta Falcons this year. They got 10 games left. Let's just see what happens. All right, so let's get into the offense. So the first thing we're going to say, the offense, we all know that Calvin Ridley is out. So that's going to be one of the issues. I think the first key for us on offense is to, we have to be creative. We know for a fact that they're going to start taking more attention to Kyle Pitts. So I feel like the Arthur Smith and the offensive coordinator need to be very creative, making sure we can get him the ball, get some of our other weapons involved, people like Russell Gage. Now he's the #1 receiver going in. Tarjay Sharp had a good game last game. He's probably going to be more involved in the game along with Lamade Zaccheaus, Christian Blake, and maybe we get to see Frank Darby finally get some run this week as well. So we just have to see. But I think the first key for this offense is he got to be creative. You got to be able to still get Kyle Pitts the ball. He's pretty much the #1 weapon along with Cordell Patterson right now. And if any team is smart, they're going to try to take those two guys away. So it's got to be important for our offense to continue to get those guys the ball and make sure that we remain creative. The second point is going to be we got to run the ball. Continue to run the ball. I talk about it every week. We know Arthur Smith loves to run the ball. It's getting later on in the season. We still got to stay physical. The balance is one good thing. The Saints have a pretty good defensive line, so we want to make them be balanced and let them know that we do have a threat to run the ball. We're not just going to drop back and pass every play. And so that's one of our keys. We need to make sure that we're able to run the ball this week. Control the clock. We know we lost the time possession last week by 11 minutes. Of course, that limited our number of offensive touches that we had. So when we did get the ball, we had to be perfect, and that's why we lost the game. So we need to make sure we dominate the time possession by running the ball and staying balanced. And then the third thing is we got to make sure that our offensive line holds up. I just talked about the defensive line for the Saints. They're pretty good. We know that the secondary for the Saints plays sticky defense. I think more likely they be fouling, be holding, especially Lattimore. But either way, the refs let them get away with that. So they're going to probably play that man-to-man, probably play sticky defense. They're going to try to take Kyle Pitts out of the game. So our defensive line going to have to hold up so Matt Ryan can go through his progressions and find an open target. So that's one of the things we got to make sure that our offensive line is get back to how they were playing before last week. Like I said, last week I thought they got dominated, but before that, they was playing pretty good. They had a lot. Matt Ryan get sacked a whole lot. I think we need to get back to that. Of course, we know the defensive coordinator for the Saints is going to bring pressures with Demario Davis and all those guys. So we need to be prepared for that. And if we do those three things on offense, I think we have a chance to be successful in this game. All right, defense. So let's talk about our defense. All right, so the first thing I'm talking about defense is that we have to win the line of scrimmage on a defensive standpoint. We see Jonathan Bullard is going to be out, so Marlon Davidson, like Mike Pennell Jr. is going to get a little bit more burn. I think that's going to be a great thing for us. Tyler Davidson's still going to be in there, but we just have to deal with that. Like I said, I think these guys got embarrassed last week, so I think these guys are going to come back and they're going to represent. They're going to hold down the fort, and they're going to be more productive this week against the run. And last week, I mean, earlier this week, I could not remember Alvin Kamara's name. I don't know how I could not remember Alvin Kamara's name, because he is the offense for those guys. And I knew that. I just couldn't think of his name. And I told you guys, and then like time I got off the video, it popped right in my head. So sorry about that. But of course, we got to be able to stop Ingram and Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is going to play a big role. So we need to be able to stop him in the run game. We need to dominate the line of scrimmage from a defensive standpoint, and we need to redeem ourselves from the way we played last week. It's just simple as that. They ran 203 yards on us. We want to make them be a passing team. They got Trevor Simeon back there. He is a veteran, but he's a journeyman. He's been, from team to team. So it's their backup quarterback back there, and we want to make them be a passing team. We don't want them to be balanced. It's the opposite of what we want on offense. We want them to be one-dimensional, and if we could do that, that'd be great. The second thing for defense is everybody knows that Sean Payton's screen game is amazing. That's one of the things that we have to definitely make sure that we take a great approach on that, the screen game. If you look at Dean P defense, he really don't have places where he have his guys going right up the field, his defensive linemen. It's because that's not the kind of defense he runs. So, but when he pressure, if we get caught in pressures, he mentioned this on his press conference that he had this week. When he sent the linebackers in pressure, that's what we got burned last week on some of the a couple of screens that Carolina Panthers had. So I think that is key for us this week to make sure that we don't get caught in those pressures that he mentioned. But we know that the Saints is a good screen team, especially with Alvin Kamara coming out the backfield. He's very explosive in the pass game. However, I think we do have one of the best cover linebackers in the game. So make sure we match up Deion Jones on him as much as we can. If you guys remember in history, Deion Jones pretty much can put the clamps on Alvin Kamara. So hopefully he can do that again this week. But the screen game is going to be very important for our defense. And so that's what we need to do. Make sure that we, like I said, we don't get caught in those pressures that Dean Pease call. And that's the reason why he mentioned that when you do pressure and you don't get home, you put your secondaries in a bind. The screen game is even more effective for the offense because they have those big linemen running out, blocking, and you know, our linebackers and secondary are they're quick, but they're not as big. So when those big linemen get out there, it's hard to get them down. So that's one of the things that we have to make sure that we look out for this week is that screen game. And then the last thing is I mentioned Trevor Siemian. We need to make sure we get him different looks the whole game. It's going to be really interesting. The cat and mouse between Sean Payton and Dean Pease. Sean Payton is a good offensive play caller. And he's definitely going to get his guys the best opportunity to beat us this week. So we got to make sure that we disguise our looks, our man-to-man, our zone pressures, all the things that Dean Pease like to call. Hopefully, these guys have got more familiar with his scheme, so he can start calling a little bit more. If you guys recall, he talked about he had to dial it back a little bit because these guys he had gave them too much to start off. So hopefully these guys are learning. We can get these guys in. But one thing I can say about this defense, the younger guys are coming in. Richard Grant, Jalen Hawkins, Avery Williams. These guys are actually starting to get it, and that's good for the future. If we think about from a future standpoint, I think we still need to be physical. We did see some big hits from our defense last week. We need to continue to be that way, and continue to make sure that we need to get our respect back from last week. That's what we need. All right, and if we do those three things on defense, I think that it'll definitely help us out moving forward for our hated Saints. Last thing is special teams. So let's talk about special teams. First thing first, we're going to talk about field position. Of course, if we do able to move the ball against the Saints, hopefully we could get some good return yards in the kicking game to put us in good spots to produce those scoring drives for us. So we need to make sure that we control the field position the whole game. We all know that special teams play an important role in the game. Last week, it was in the kicking game, of course, our field goal. We missed the field goal, and then they made like 4 field goals. We was able to keep them out of the end zone, but from a special team standpoint, they did kick 4 field goals against us last week. So, like I said, special teams is important. You can't put it in his zone. You kick field goals. We do not want to kick field goals. We want to make sure we stay high in the red zone and don't turn the ball over in the red zone like we did last week. But from a special team standpoint, we need to make sure we control field position. The second thing for special teams, I talked about the kicking game. We need to capitalize on our opportunities to score. I'm not going to harp too much on Younghoe Koo missed field goal that he had last week, but I think it was a big momentum push for the Carolina Panthers when we missed that, because that would actually put us back up in the lead if he would actually made that field goal. I think the score would have been 13-12, And then when we got the lead, their mindset for them could be a whole lot different. They got to get back down and score. And that is something that we missed out on last week. So I'm not going to really harp on it too much, but I think that when we get in the red zone, we don't put it in for 6. We need to make sure we capitalize on our field goals. And then the last thing for special teams is just continue to do what you did last week. Don't give up any big plays on special teams. No block punts, no block field goals, no run back for touchdowns or run back for big yards. We do kick the ball off. Let's pin them deep, play that field position game. So special teams always seem like afterthought, you know, in a lot of games when you think about it. But when you go back and look at the 5 or 6 plays that actually you think if you just made these plays, the outcome could be different. Special teams plays always fall into those categories as well. We think about last week, a couple of plays we could have capitalized on. Like I said, the interception in the red zone, the missed pass and reception in the red zone, and then the special team standpoint, the field goal that we missed. If we just capitalize on one of those plays, the outcome of the game could have been totally different, even though we got dominated from the line of scrimmage standpoint. So let's look at it like that. But that's what I think, guys, from offense, defense, special team standpoint. I also believe that the loss last week probably was a good thing for us because, like I said, when you get punched in the mouth, it's like a awakening for you. We was kind of on a high. We had a 2-game winning streak. We was kind of feeling ourselves just a little, but it's a good wake-up call for us. We got 10 games left. Let us know we're not where we need to be. We got a lot of improvement to do. You heard the quarterback, you heard the coach say where we started this season, this is not where we're going to be at the end of the season. So we still got to show that progression. But getting hit in the mouth like we did last week probably was a good thing for us moving forward. But I hope we could beat the Saints. Everybody know that you can throw out records. You can throw out how good a team played the week before, all that stuff. When you play the Saints, it's going to be a good game. We don't have to deal with Drew Brees anymore. That is lovely. It's going to be a lot of years we didn't have to deal with Drew Brees, even though we let Taysom Hill beat us twice. So we're not going to forget about that either. He's not going to be in the game this week, maybe next game. But we just need to worry about Trevor Siemian, Alvin Kamara. I got the name now. Of course, Mark Ingram. And that defensive line. I think that's their stars, their defensive line. So we can hold up against those guys, who's playing very well this year. We can come out with a win. And like I say, throw out all the records. It don't matter what their record is right now. They know they playing the Atlanta Falcons. And they know we know them. They know us. So let's get it on. And hopefully the reaction from some Sunday's game will be a whole lot better the reaction I had from the Carolina Panthers game. So guys, that's all I have for the hated Saints week. First of 2 that we're going to have. The first one is going to be away. So that's your boy Ricondo. Peace.